Harry. Hello, guys. How you guys doing?
Camilo, good to see you here. All right, really excited about this discussion.
All right, so I'm excited. Are you ready to discuss H-1B transfers extensions?
Yeah, let's do it. It's been all these years of work, and let's tell the public what they need to know.
Okay, excellent. So today we're going to be talking about H-1B transfers extensions. We have here Harry Tapias, CEO of Loigica, and also one of the best immigration lawyers in terms of H-1B, H-2Bs. And today we're talking about H-1B. All right. So Harry, extension. What is the process the company and the employee must follow in order to apply for an extension of an H-1B?
All right. Well, first off, thanks, Camilo, for the introduction. And I would be remiss to not mention that Camilo is my law partner, also managing attorney of Loigica, PA, and we both built this law firm over the last decade. So really happy to do this. Camilo, to answer your question about the H1, essentially what's the H-1B process to begin with? All right, so employers, this is an employer-driven process. The American employer is the one who needs to contact the attorneys, tell the attorney, yes, I want this individual has the qualifications. And once we get that information, we can register that specialized individual in the lottery. And the lottery registration begins in March. It could be likely this year will be around March 15th.
Question, because it's important about the documents, and let's discuss about the documents. So in order to do this registration, as you know, we've seen cases in which we need certain documents in order to do the registration. So what do we usually ask? What does Sarah Benmona, who is actually managing H-1B, what does she usually request, Harry?
All right, so it's two parts, the employee documents and the employer documents. Let's begin with the employee documents. The employee documents needs to include the educational credentials. That essentially means the diploma of the person, if they have a master's degree or a bachelor's degree, the school curriculum. We want to see the courses that they've taken. Also, we want to make sure that they've maintained lawful presence. Typically, they're going to be on F1 student status. We want to see their I-20s as well, and see the history of their F1 student status. On the employer side, what we want to see is income tax returns for at least the last 2 to 3 years. That's to show that the company has the ability to pay the prevailing wage to the H-1B employee. We also need a copy of the federal employment ID number printed on an IRS document. At least that to begin with.
At least that, right? Okay, so now let's talk about the extension. Okay, what is the difference between the extension and the transfer? What would you think is the main difference? And once you answer that, Harry, we go to the second part, which is basically what is the process for the extension? Is it the same as the regular H-1B, or what is the big difference here?
Okay, that's great. So extension and transfer both presume that the person already has an H-1B, and with an extension, that means that the H-1B holder who's already employed is reaching their is reaching the end of the 3-year period. And it is time to extend for a second 3-year term. Typically, that period will end in September of any given year. So you want to be looking back at least a few months before the end of that period at September. Make sure that an extension gets filed for 3 more years, so that you can continue working lawfully.
And Harry, sorry, I'd like to interrupt you. So that basically means that the employee doesn't have to go through the lottery again, which is huge, right?
Yeah, that's an excellent point. Because the employee already got selected at one point through a lottery, they don't have to go through it again in order to get this extension.
Oh, all right. Okay, and second,
so that's the extension.
Okay, second question, because people are gonna ask about the extension as well. So as far as documents, hey, we assume that you need to file a petition again. It doesn't mean just because the first one was approved, they're going to approve the extension. No, you need to actually prove every single element of the H-1B, right?
That's right. Sometimes people call us and say, "Hey, I just need to do an extension," and that suggests that it's going to be easy. No, the extension work is exactly the same work that the attorney did the first time around. The difference only being that there is no lottery. that they're going to be subject to. But the work needs to still demonstrate that the job is a specialty occupation job, that this person is well qualified, the company has the ability to actually employ the person. So we still have to prove all those things.
I agree, and do not take lightly and basically follow what Harry's saying. Why? Because people assume, hey, I got the approval, H1B, I can do it myself. Don't do it. I mean, you're making $80,000 per year, $100,000 per year. What will you jeopardize your future for a $5,000, $7,000 H1B legal attorney? Don't do that. So please be careful. Let's go now to the transfers, Harry. It's a big difference, right? Transfers. Now we have the employee wants to transfer into another company. Then how?
All right. Okay. So the concept of the transfer is that now that the employee found a new employer, hopefully it's a more interesting job or a better opportunity for them. And so what we will do is that we will file an H1B transfer. Again, the job is going to be just as difficult as an extension or as a regular H1B, with the difference being that there is no lottery that they're going to go through. Okay. Now the transfer also presumes that the next job is going to be a specialty occupation, and it's going to be aligned to the person's education. So the job doesn't have to be the same as the previous job, but it still has to be a specialty occupation job.
I agree, 100%. So that basically means, hey, listen, you want to change your job, you can do so, it's fine. You need to apply again and you need to transfer again, right? So you can actually change. That is okay. The process, listen, you need to basically qualify and meet every single element again. And what about working? Because you filed for the transfer, you filed the I-129, right? Can you start working immediately?
Okay, yeah, that's all right. So that's very interesting. That depends. Okay, if you have an H1B, but there's still time on your I-9 form, okay, and you have maintained proper H1B status. Once you file the I-129, you may begin working for the next employer, even if you don't have an approval. Okay,
right?
That's a huge benefit. Now, the tricky situation is where the person quit the first job, or maybe they were dismissed.
Correct.
And then when that happens, the person now has a 60-day window to either find a new employer, do a transfer, change status or something else, or leave the country. So during that 60-day status, the person may file an H1B transfer, but may not begin working immediately, like in scenario one.
That's key.
So at that point, yes, that is key. Yeah, thanks for highlighting that, because if you begin working without the approval in that scenario, you will have unlawfully worked.
Yeah.
So you have to wait for the approval. Okay.
That's good to know. And what I will tell people to avoid, again, do not do it yourselves. An HR person shouldn't do it as well, or your employer, unless they're lawyers, and unless they actually do H1B work. So there are like hundreds of immigration lawyers, like thousands of immigration lawyers. You need to select one that actually has filed thousands of H1B petitions, and that's key. That's huge. I think we've seen every single request for evidence issued that is out there in terms of transfers, H1B extensions, and so on, right? So, Harry, this is very important, and this is a disclaimer for everyone. Each case is different. Each case has different facts. So this video doesn't represent any legal advice. And always consult with Harry Tapias, with Loigica, because we actually know H1B law, and this is basically what we do on a daily basis. So Harry, anything else that you want to tell us, something that interesting this season? What do you think?
All right,
so the people can actually follow you.
H1B continues to be a very competitive visa to obtain. The visa numbers are the same, have been the same for many years, which is about 88,000. 20,000 of those visas are set aside for those who have an advanced degree from the United States, a master's degree or higher from the United States. If you want to be competitive, go get that master's degree from a U.S. university so that you can be among those who are first likely to get the H1B visa. Higher education, the United States will congratulate you for doing that by giving you better chances to get your H1B selected.
I agree, 100%. So guys, please just provide a comment. And if you have any questions, please just type your comment, and we'll be happy to answer every single question related to H-1B law, immigration law, and nationality law. Thank you, Harry. Thank you, everyone. I'm Camilo Espinosa, managing attorney at Loigica, PA, and here we have our CEO of the company, Harry Tapias.
Thank you, Camilo. Pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.